young people and their mental and emotional well being. So, we are now entering into the holiday season, and with the holiday season comes a lot of stress, a lot of pressure for families, for young people, even for professionals. And especially in this year, it's even more intense due to the political season that we've just wrapped up. Emotions are all over the place, and we wanted to share just some information on how to manage family stress during the holidays. It is not an easy time for a lot of people to be around family during the holidays. Typically we like to think about the joy and the togetherness, but unfortunately for some people, that's not the same experience, and sometimes it can be a unique set of stressors that come aboard during the holiday season. I myself grew up in a pretty interesting household. I had a lot of trauma growing up. And I remember there was a mix in my holiday experiences. Some holidays were, a lot of bliss, a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment. And some holidays were stressful, chaotic, sometimes even dangerous. There were fights and things that would take place and happen. So it was a mixed bag growing up. So being able to, kind of see both sides of this makes a lot of sense for myself, and I've always kind of kept that those experiences fresh and top of mind when working with clients when I was practicing as a clinician. That you never know what you can get during the holidays, but you can hope that things will be as just easygoing as possible and filled with love and joy. But also keeping in mind that that is not everybody's experience. So one thing we want to do today is share some tips that can assist with people to have a peaceful holiday season as best as possible. And hopefully, you can utilize these with your own family, or if you're working with young people, you can share this with them, or even parenting caregivers to give them a little bit of insight on how to have a peaceful holiday season this year. The first tip: set realistic expectations. Now, when we're setting expectations, I think it's very important to acknowledge the limitations and what we can do and what we can't do. A lot of times during the holiday season, people are made promises and things are shared with folks that don't always come true. So set realistic, or not set, but acknowledge realistic limitations. If somebody can't make it to an event, if you don't have enough money to afford something, if the holiday dinner is not going to be as big and grandiose as it might have been last year, it's okay to acknowledge those limitations. And I think that sometimes we want to paint a pretty picture for folks and give them hope by telling them, half truths, and that's not a good thing to do. So just acknowledge the limitations that are there, and set those realistic expectations to the best of your ability. Communicate plans very clearly is another thing that can help in this space as well. Avoid This helps you to avoid a lot of misunderstandings. It also helps you to plan better. Coordinate things with family members. You can get things out ahead of time. You can clarify schedules and responsibilities, and you can set expectations when you're able to plan and communicate clearly. So just set those realistic expectations. Be honest about limitations, and communicate your plans as clearly as possible. So that's the first tip. We're going to do 7 tips today. The second tip is prioritize your self care. Be sustainable with your well being. So for me, it's all about being proactive with your self care. So maintaining good routines, get some sleep during the holiday season. You may not be working as much, and that gives you an opportunity to rest your body. For those of you who can't rest your bodies or don't want to rest your bodies, exercise is another great alternative or something to add. You can get sleep and exercise. Maintaining healthy meals during this time. This is the time where pies and cakes and cookies float around, and they're all delicious and all amazing. So just indulge with caution is what I'll say. Indulge with caution. Try to maintain a healthy enough routine, but it's okay if you want to eat an extra cookie or so. Just don't go crazy with it. Take breaks. Take breaks is another big thing to helping prioritize our self care. When you're feeling that tension, you may notice something in your body, or you may get short of breath or lightheaded or something. That's your moment of recognition that you need to do something different. You may need to take a little bit of a break. So help rest your mind and rest your body as much as you can during this holiday season. Number 3, and this is a big one, especially during these times where Stuff is so expensive. Create a budget and stick to it. A lot of times, family stresses around money and who did something, who didn't do something, what was purchased, what wasn't purchased, where did this thing go, things disappear. It's all types of things that can happen around resources. So, budgeting and sticking to a budget, I think, is helpful. Plan your spending as much as you can. Try to get creative. If you don't have enough resources, what are some things that you can craft or develop or gift to someone that is just as meaningful as purchasing the shiny new object that's out there? And then try not to overextend yourself. Credit cards are amazing during this time of year because you can get the things that you've always wanted at a discount, and all of a sudden you're getting close to maxing out those credit cards. So just be mindful of how you're utilizing your resources, create that budget that makes sense for you, and stick to it as best as possible. Number four, delegate tasks. Share responsibilities and involve young people in decision making. This is a great opportunity for families to plan, communicate, and connect. So delegating tasks is good. You can get everyone involved. Everybody feels like they contribute, and responsibility can be shared, and also can be a time for learning as well. So just try your best to not take it all on by yourself, and pass things along and coordinate things as best as possible amongst your family. Number five, anticipate emotional activation, or AKA triggers. That's a sensitive term. So, but anticipate it. People are going to get agitated. There's going to be tension from the past. And the best thing that you can do is just practice being patient during this time. And pay attention to your own emotions as well. Things might activate your emotions. They may get you going. And when that ends up happening, I think it's best that we just take a self reflection moment, instead of looking out the window about what everyone else is doing or what they've done to you. You look in the mirror and figure out what is going on with yourself and self regulate to the best of your ability. All right, two more tips. Two more tips. Number six, set boundaries. One of the big things we can do is protect ourselves during this time frame, which means you might have to limit time around toxic family members and friends. Those people that call you and they just dump all their emotions and their problems in your lap, and you're sitting there and you have to fix it. Or they're saying things to you, they're poking and prying, things that you don't like. That aunt's just like, oh, you put on an extra couple pounds over the year, that type of stuff. You got to set boundaries with those folks. Try not to take it take those things too hard, too difficult. But just try to love people at a distance. Try to keep your distance as best as possible, and then just respect your limits. Don't put yourself in situations that you feel like can jeopardize your emotional health, or your mental health for that matter. So set those boundaries and just try to stay away from people who are bringing toxicity to your life. And then lastly, number seven is focus on connection. So as you are separating yourself from other people, it's all good, but this is a time to come together. This is a time to be a part of a collective. And one of the things you can try to do during this time is practice gratitude. What are you thankful for? Foster a lot of positivity in the connection you have with folks. And then one thing that I've tried to do over the years is create new traditions and just try new things. So within my family, one thing that we do Christmas Eve is we always get new pajamas, and usually they match or they're close to matching. Everybody has a matching set of pajamas, and we make cookies from scratch. Some years it's chocolate chips, some years it's Christmas cookies. This year is going to be oatmeal cookies. So, every year we do a cookie from scratch recipe. It's a whole family thing, and we all put our pajamas on and kind of just lounge around for the day. So that's what we'll be doing this year. Hopefully, you'll be figuring out something fun with your family this year. Again, this was the Macma Minute. I am Brandon Jones, and this is what we do here is we like to encourage everyone to have a great, safe holiday and keep being positive and taking care of your mental and emotional health. And that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.